Hello and welcome. We are presenting today Starting a Business First Steps. This is brought to you by the Mississippi Small Business Development Center. My name is Rita Mitchell. I'll be your host today for this presentation, and we welcome you to the beginning, the ideation, and the launch of your business first steps. A little bit about us. We were created as an agency, the Small Business Development Centers of America, or SBDC, in the 1980s during the Reagan administration. Most of our funding comes through the SBA, the Small Business Administration. The balance comes through the state of Mississippi through our host institutions and our stakeholders. We were invented so that we will be shoulder to shoulder with you, boots on the ground, helping you create, ideate, plan, launch, and build into a viable and sustainable business. That's our charter. We also help grow, we help change, we help rebrand, we help divide, duplicate whatever small business journey has for our clientele. The majority of our services are provided to you at no charge, paid for by tax dollars. Now let's stop here. We will love surveying you. We will send a survey at the end of this presentation. First of all, make sure it meets with your distinguished standards. Also to share with you so that you can give feedback to make sure we're serving our service areas in the best possible way. In exchange for filling out your survey, we are happy to send you our slide presentations of the Business Series 101, which we are beginning April 2020 to serve you online so that you, our esteemed client, can choose the time that you wish to enjoy this workshop. The impact of our services is clear. The statistics on startups are abysmal without professional counseling help. Over 50% of Mississippi startup businesses do not move past their first year without professional services. Utilizing Mississippi Small Business Development Center services improves the chances of your business moving forward and becoming a viable and sustainable business past the new year and on to other years by a great percentage. Our failure percentage was in the low teens in the past year, and we always strive to make that statistic smaller and smaller. We want for you not just to get launched, but to succeed and to thrive. Let's talk about your team. We like to see our small businesses interview mentors. That would be other entrepreneurs in your business. We like to see you add an accountant, and you note asterisk, more about accountants and attorneys later. Every business needs an insurance professional. Every business has some measure of liability. We always say the vast majority of the attorneys in our world live in these United States. No besmirchment to attorneys, but with all of those attorneys, if there is any loose end that provides an opportunity for liability, it is going to come in with a small business and it can decimate your business. Have an insurance professional, talk to them, and ask them what you need. You need coaches and counselors like the SBDC and other people that have always listened to you, believed in you, and giving you a sounding board. Lenders, bankers, vendors, suppliers, supply chain, as we call it right now, or whomever it is that gives you part and parcel of whatever it is that you're setting up to sell or serve or supply. And of course, your team, your associates. Let's go back and be more specific about your needs for an accountant and an attorney. You'll note the several different echelons or levels of accounting professionals: CPA, accountant, bookkeeper. Please choose one. We have recommendations and references. I'll stop here and tell you we only refer someone if they do the most good for our small businesses, and they must pass muster with us. If not, we choose another professional. Many of our references and other community references from your chamber, or here in South Mississippi, it's called the ADP, Area Development Partnership. Many offer initial consultation at no charge. They help formulate your best systems, just like one would organize your home, your garage, your workplace, your home office, your finances, and the manner in which you set up your business to record your business activities is important, and accountants are fabulous at this. Also, your accountant can refer an attorney. Some accountants specialize in certain business fields, and that works to your advantage as well. Please, we implore you, do not cut corners by doing this yourself. A good accountant, well managed, will save you money, at the very least quarterly, if not annually. We prefer a monthly accounting reporting relationship, and I like seeing an accountant help you set up your bookkeeping, your reporting, your categorical divisions. It's good business. It's even better business if your system is either the same or communicates extremely well with your accountant. As for an attorney, it depends on how complicated your business is and how it ranks in the liability scales. These pieces of data can be found in IBA's world, and we can discuss them with you as your accountant and your counselor would do. We also give advice on legal structure through attorneys, the operations and elements of your business with an attorney. Both of these professionals help guide you in what would be your best structure so you can choose impact for your legal liability and for your taxation structure. Sometimes the structure will save you money down the road in your taxation. Forming corporations or LLCs, making those decisions, and of course, reviewing contracts to make sure that you don't have some element within your contract to make things illegal, fuzzy, ununderstandable, and unsustainable. Next, let's talk your organizational structure, legal structures. You see before you sole proprietorship, partnership, limited partnership is one, corporations, subchapter S, S Corp, C Corps, limited liability companies. Your factors to include in your consideration will be taxation, liability exposure, how complex is your business in its development and its construction? Where are you? That plays into your organizational structure. One of our favorites to pull the lens back and examine is succession and your exit plan. We like to see you begin with, what is your goal with this business? Do you want to duplicate it, franchise it, maybe even sell it? Or do you want to have a business that there is something there for your family to continue, be proud of, participate in, and change as the world changes before us? Whatever it is, that plays into your choice on your organizational structure. And you see, we've added, once you consider all of these elements, get back with your accountant and your attorney. We are not in the business of selling these professional services to you. We, of course, operate on a no-charge platform at the grace of the SBA and our stakeholders. Your accountant and your attorney are worth paying to make sure you are set up correctly rather than having to make expensive changes in the future. Next up, critical element, very intense market research. First question, we know you have a passion for your business and for your business idea, but does the marketplace? We like to see our entrepreneurs, our beginning business people, approach people and let them tear it apart. Let them tell you why this is not going to go forward. This sounds like a dismal idea, but actually it's a good idea. If it can only have a few places that need polished up in order to become a viable, very powerful niche, you're on your way. Do your people want, does your market want your product or service? Who are they? What do they look like? Where do they live? Where do they currently shop? What choices do they make? Where do they go to church? What do they choose to do? What are their hobbies? What are their work pursuits? All of these elements need to be asked and answered. How many potential customers? Please do not tell us nor your lender when you're pitching your business plan. Anyone and everyone will want my product, service, app, whatever. That is simply not true. If you are developing a business, we need to take careful care. Who will you help? What pain point will you resolve? What is moving your product through the marketplace for launch and sustainability? Who are your competitors? Who's doing something similar or like that? Example, quick story. Miss Rita, there is not a dress shop and an apparel shop and a boutique in my town. We have to go out of town. I want to start one. When we look at the demography, when we look at the elements of your service area, there may be a reason that there's not. There may be not enough people singularly for your product offering. This is why one must look. Do you have a wow factor? Is there something so amazing that when someone scrolls through their emails, looks through their Facebook or Instagram, looks at your messaging on your website, instead of going, oh, they go, wow. And who do you help? That is a great place to start your business and to pursue your market research. Onward to the tools. What will help you do this besides informal, subjective search for your marketplace or your own presumptions? Citydata.com is a great general demographic profile. Remember, we were talking about the apparel shop and boutique and why a city may or may not support it. Mississippi Department of Transportation. They have a magnificent site. You can click and get your general traffic volume, even if you're setting up just an office for your services. It's kind of a landing place, or if you're setting up somewhere that you are wishing your clientele to actually visit along with your online platform. MDOT will help you with those decisions, and if you give them time, they will give you extremely specific advice. Y'all Business, Secretary of State's great site, begun several years ago, is a valuable resource. It aggregates economic, census, consumer data, business data, very, very clean and crisp, and also research data. All of the laws and regulations passed through the legislature then get scrubbed and placed on Y'all Business, a great research tool. Other vital resources that would be very expensive for you to pursue by yourself, but we have them available to you once you sign on to become a client of the Mississippi Small Business Development Center. ESRI reports, demographic information for every city and county in Mississippi. This element will be greatly enhanced by our upcoming 2020 census. BizMiner, deep dive financial reports per industry. IBIS World, market research that pulls the lens back and gives you incredible information about your industry, its ratios, its major players. Is this a growing? Is it a stable? Is it a mature? Is it a declining industry nationally? What are the research tools? Who are the people that most people rely on for information? How's it going so far? What's the industry at a glance? We adore referring you to an IBIS World report, and they are doing more and more to scissor into niche industries. Speaking of niche, our partner, SBDC Net, designed specifically for America's SBDC pursuits. When the top businesses of any particular year bubble up, the SBDC Net places, studies, and does a thumbnail profile of these businesses that have bubbled up on their site for access. They even draw up PDFs for a basic business plan, kind of a baseline approach. If it is a blended business model, or a unique business model, or something that you need to halo over several states and areas, we can request an SBDC net report. It takes 10 to 14 days because these are enormously specific reports that are gorgeous to view and invaluable to help you move your business forward. Preparing a business plan. This is such an important element that one of my colleagues will present this in one of our next workshops in our Business 101 series. We're going to talk about it for a little bit so you'll know what to expect. This must be in writing. This is a three-part division of thinking, preparing, planning, and seeking your heart of hearts on what your launch needs. Often we approach our entrepreneurs and say, we need to stage this. You cannot begin with the Taj Mahal or with the World Trade Center or somewhere like that. You must begin at the beginning, and we recommend starting small, investing a great deal of capital and patterning it out and borrowing a great deal of money without planning is a terrible, dangerous way to begin a business. Your narrative, your capital requirements, those must be specific. Your cash flow projections. How is this going to play through? What's it going to cost? What's the point where we begin to break even, pay back our debt, and what a concept, make money. Market research will assist the development of the very best business plans. We just talked about a great number of tools for that. There are two, not just important, essential reasons for developing a plan. You do this for yourself. There is a statistic running around in the world that we as people who love to plan our vacations and our glorious family trips and pursuits and dream excursions with greater detail than some people plan their businesses. Let's not do that. Let's plan a good business plan. Let's make sure it determines the viability and feasibility of this business. Let's create a blueprint, a roadmap, if you will, of operations, marketing, and finances. As this plan goes forward, you will measure your business progress against it. It will stand with your lender as your case when you're not available. One time when I needed to borrow a great deal of money for a purchasing opportunity at a very low price, my lending agent wasn't at the bank. When I called and asked for an extension of my line of credit, someone who did not know me had to make the decision. They could have very easily said no, but they looked at my history, they looked at my ongoing updated business plan, they made an expensive loan decision on the spot based on what was there. A business plan is a live document. To secure your financing with lenders or investors, or to expose your plan and its specifics and its well drawn out intent to whomever is investing in your business, is a great idea. This is why we do this. Doing this, creating a business, doing something serious like this without a very well drawn out plan is where we see a fatal error that makes businesses not move forward. We call them as counselors the big three. Not enough capital to pull your business forward from launch into viability and sustainability. Not having a market that has been predetermined, studied, and well-defined for your business, and failing to plan. Those are the big three in businesses not going forward. A business without a plan is simply a wish. It's not a business. Next up is exploring what your sources of funding are going to be. First, you have to figure out what you need. We love to be extremely specific in our planning. It will be vexing and irritating when we continue to bring up, have you thought about this? What about this? You need to plan for this. In our history, our businesses have run into this, but it helps you not have a negative surprise. Your personal credit score is the number one driver of determining the variety of sources you're going to have for funding. Personal investment, what you are going to stake into your business, your personal financial statement, your family, their support. We're not just talking about financial. In your launch and in your time with your small business, to quote one of my small businesses, I didn't see my family for 3 or 5 years. The person, your hostess, had a small business for almost 30 years, and for the first 8.5 years, I did not leave to go to lunch. These commitments are going to affect your life. Your cafeteria of choices of borrowing from a bank, getting an SBA guaranteed loan, the gold standard of loans, other loan funds, and other funding sources for your business come from a variety of places. Our entrepreneurs tend to think we write up a plan, we figure out what we need, we give our intent, we show our passion, and the bank's going to say, great, let's do this. Most of the time, we cobble these elements of funding among a number of sources. Yes, to answer a frequently asked question, this will have to be guaranteed by a signature, your personal guarantee. And you expose what you are going to use the money for. This is not your get out of jail free card when your loan is approved and your lender says, holy cow, we're going to fund you. Your day one action plan for your business begins there. It is not your personal money. We've given you a resource. Once again, you'll get this slideshow when you fill out your survey. And we've given you this resource. There are a number of resources for you to monitor and improve your credit score so you can have the most choices for your sources of funding. The Mississippi Secretary of State plays a vital part in the formulation of businesses. We've got the link there for you. Once again, we'll mention Y'all Business. It has myriad resources, market research, data on existing businesses in your zip code, in your halo, in the state. It also exposes the very particular government regulations in the state of Mississippi. It has portals where you establish your business structure. Once again, we find most of our small businesses adopting an LLC. I'm going to take a moment to caution you in this that a sole proprietorship is a very commonplace status, legal status for a business. Usually those are John Jones, DBA, John's Hobby Shop, something like that. That leaves you open to the maximum liability because there is no corporate distinction between you and your assets and the corporation or your business. So a little caveat there as we're discussing this. The Mississippi Secretary of State site also helps you file an annual report on the status and the good standing of your LLC or corporation. This goes on every year at taxation time, and we do our very best to get you a message well in advance of that so that your business will be exposed not only in the state of Mississippi, but in the world as in good standing rather than in dissolution or dissolved. It's very, very easy to do. More information about the Secretary of State to help you formulate your business correctly in the eyes of the state of Mississippi. We always, as counselors, share with you that one of the quickest ways to go out of business is to do something incorrect in the eyes of the state of Mississippi or any state where you have your business. Those regulations and rules must be honored first. Once again, Y'all Business helps you determine the regulations that apply to your business. We have your laundry list before you of please discover permits and licensures, codes. If you've got a health-related business, restaurant, service, something that must be clear in the eyes of the health department and approved. Do you need a ServSafe license? Liquor stores, tobacco license to vend those. The state of Mississippi is extremely strict in those substances, and it's a very, very arduous process. Certainly, our clients ask us about the elements of cannabis. Let me remind you, we can offer you our workshops on this element. It is one of the more indefinite elements about beginning a business. We can certainly give you advice, but in terms of the SBA indemnifying that loan, that is not a process right now. We also get asked about nonprofits. Our workshop Business 101 series is available to you openly and as a warm welcome. We are not the best agency for creating nonprofits. Our SBA funds come to us to create for-profit businesses. Professional licensures, other regulations, zoning. If you're doing a home-based business, you may have to go before your homeowners association. You may have to go before the city council or one of your county boards for a permit for easements or for the allowance and agreement to develop your business. There may be sign restrictions. Some of our cities, like Madison, for example, have very specific sign restrictions for the development of their communities. Fire code requirements, we have a little note before signing your lease. Please look at all of your requirements, your sprinkler heads, your shower allowances, your entry and exit as it is allowable by the American Disability Act. OSHA, is this a safe workplace? Are there things that are going to prevent it, like asbestos or something of that nature? Please investigate those before you sign a lease for a premise. And also any government contracting rules that would prohibit or limit your business activities. And a side note, checking all of these elements is the business owner's responsibility. That sounds very ferocious, but it is. Your regulator, upon visit with their padlock or with their violation report, will not accept, "I didn't know." Applying for your tax numbers, easy process. You need an EIN, sometimes we abbreviate it. It is a federal employer identification number. This is required if you hire any employees and start reporting payroll for any form of business other than a sole proprietor. A sole proprietor can simply present a ledger, hopefully works up with an accountant. You are your first employee. Even if you're just an army of one in your business, this is required for deduction and payment of your payroll taxes. Please get an EIN number rather than using your social security number and exposing it to the world. We have given you the link for this. It pops up readily when you enter it on a search engine, and it is your portal. It is also available in the Secretary of State's site. You need a state tax ID number if you are collecting sales tax. The roster of items and businesses that are requisite of state sales tax collection are present on your Mississippi of State site. Please honor that. And a little side note, an online business, no permanent place of business, for example, a post office box, something of that nature, is usually requisite of having a $500 bond set up with the state of Mississippi. Now, we are not naive. We know a goodly number of small businesses operate underground, so to speak, on Facebook. Please message me back. People buy and sell things in their front yards, things such as that. We are aware of this. Our position, our charter, is the successful, viable, and sustainable manner of a business. We have lots of places and businesses that we are shepherding that are doing a hobbyist or a feasibility position right now. They are not quite a business. To be correct in the eyes of the state of Mississippi, we must set up your business in a particular way. And this will keep terrible things like fines, like cease and desist orders, and things of that nature from coming into the life of your business. It just makes good sense to set up your business correctly in the eyes of the state of Mississippi or any other business where you do business. Next up is definition of employees versus independent contractors. Several years ago, when payroll taxes and payroll circumstances and reporting became more complicated, we found that a lot of our small businesses simply wanted to define their staff as independent contractors. Please know we don't get to choose what category applies. It's based on the fact of their behavior in your business and your working relationship. And full-time or part-time definition doesn't matter. Once upon a time, 40 hours was a full-time week. With the advent of our big box stores, of management, which has endless hours, and associates, which were capped at 35, 37 hours, that originated with giving a little wiggle room to have a prevention and monitoring of overtime. Anymore, the definition is very gray area and very fuzzy. In the statement of employee versus independent contractor, it does not matter. And this is an element where fines, penalties, and back taxes can apply. Your speaker, your host, has had to suffer from making a misstep on this, totally guileless. It was the manner in which we were reporting from day to day instead of my desire to overwork my beloved associates. And my accountant reported to me that we had to pay back wages of a considerable amount because we had miscalculated based on when we started our pay period and when we ended our pay period. That's just a personal story to tell you. This is something to examine and get right. It's a behavioral control issue, whether someone is an employee or an independent contractor. If you direct them when they work, where they work, give the tools and assistance, training, direction, guidance, that's an employee. If they report to your work with a product, if they do occasional work, get signed on to a contract, we'll talk about that in a minute. If they do an element and have other clients just like you, for example, your accountant, those can be considered independent contractors. For your independent contractor contributions to your business, please get a detailed W-9 with lots of contact information, especially their cell phone. You will be responsible for filing and proving that you have delivered a 1099 at the end of the taxation year. And if you have paid your independent contractor more than $600 in a year, it doesn't take long for that to happen, you must file and produce and prove you have delivered to them a 1099. The last slide directs right into our written agreement section. We not only suggest, we urge you to have all of your agreements with people that are working within your business to be in writing and not a handshake and not they said that they were going to do, not they assured me that they were going to do. Have it in writing. Especially this includes friends and relatives. Frequently asked question, is it a good idea for me to hire my brother-in-law or my best friend's sister in my business? I think they'd be good at it, but I'm wondering. It's a sticky thing. And we always say, if you can say, I'm sorry, we went into this with great hopes, but this is not working out. And this is the business thing. We surely hope it doesn't interfere with our personal relationship. If you can comfortably say that, then please do so. Please hire them. If you cannot, and if you can't draw up a written agreement with them that you both sign, we suggest you pass on it. If you and several people are entering into partnership to develop this business, whether it's family or whatever, not only do we recommend a partnership agreement, your lender wants to see this in your business plan. Who's going to perform what role? And how is the conflict going to be answered and defined from the beginning is why we suggest all of these written agreements. We have lots of templates to share with you. In terms of your actual business, you may want to have your attorney prepare, or once you get, if it's a very, very simple, straightforward business, once we help you, have them review it. Again, Small Business Development Center counselors are not attorneys nor accountants. We know a lot about that world. They are the ones who are professionally chartered and assigned for that function. Lastly, on this slide, we suggest you keep notarized and signed contract agreement. Put them with whomever you have the agreement. Both sign them off. We like to see them notarized. We like to see them filed with your accountant and or your attorney. I like to see a neutral copy in a business safe deposit box, just in case there's some controversy coming ahead. Please, this goes in with your marketing. Develop a consistent branding campaign and profile. Your stationery, business cards, websites, flyers, everything needs to say the same thing, speak in the same language, be the same color, same font, same ideas. This is a great place to examine your business name. Make sure it's driving your business. We'll talk more about that in a glorious workshop coming up, digital marketing. That colleague is fabulous at helping you move your business idea to what is visible, brandable, frameable, and ready to do your outreach. Please utilize the back of your business card and make it matte. We like to see you make your business card hefty cardstock, something memorable. Make it professional. It provides your credibility and your first step into the business marketplace. So many times we hear our entrepreneurs say, hit me up on Facebook. Your future client wants something to tie to. Most everybody, whether they admit it or not, still has a file of business cards. I'm looking at one right now as I make this presentation. We have them on our computers, we have them in our phones, but having a business card reminds you of the goods and services of a particular business. It is essential to establish at least a web landing page. Our ASBDC decided last year, if there is not a website and a web presence, you are in danger of not only being, but being perceived as a hobby, not really a business. Also, take a look at your competitors. They probably do have a website, and they are being enabled to be found faster and better than you. How will your customers find you within this branding profile? Do you need to be on what platforms of interactive and digital media? It helps with order fulfillment. My colleague will talk about call to action on that later. We like to see you use some universal method like a QR code that amplifies your business card or your flyer to lead customers to your web page or site. This is one of the most serious parts. We alluded to this when we were talking about accountants, and we're going to end on record-keeping systems. Please put a user-friendly record-keeping system in place from the beginning of your business. Your accountant helps you with the financial reporting and categories, but every single element of your business needs tracking to help you see how it works. Is it working effectively? Do we add something, subtract something, keep doing something? Do we need this category at all? A record-keeping system of great specificity helps drive your business. Some people tend to be organized. Some people tend to be very, very laid back, and it might even use the modifying word haphazard about the manner in which they progress things. A good record-keeping system and a good organization system leads to a better, more viable, more sustainable business every single time. Right now, Maria Kondo is one of our world's icons in organization and simplification. Hers is a really good system. She's online everywhere, but take a tip from that particular icon. Keeping things organized, clean, uncluttered allows us to breathe and to demonstrate our best gifts and talents in our businesses. It manages, it helps you do your taxes and audits. Most importantly, a record-keeping system when it comes to your finances and your business's progress, when you get to the nuts and bolts and pull the romance and the excitement and the passion out of it, it keeps us from fooling ourselves about our profitability. There is revenue, what it is that you sell and collect as fees, and there is paying all of your expenses, and then there is profitability, or as our bosses and our wonderful directors say, the what's left story. Track all your receipts, whether you scan them, you put them in a file, you keep them on your computer, however you keep them, track them all, record your revenue, also all your trades from bartering with your fellow business partners, with your fellow strategic partners, and make sure that that has a level way about it. I have seen going into helping in an analysis on business, I've seen people barter themselves out of profitability. Barter's great, just as long as you are not over bartering and sucking cash out of your business. Slide on record keeping with regard to accurate and timely collection and reporting. It is critical to measuring and managing your business. We say as counselors, if you set up a plan and a system to measure it, you can manage it and you can come up with results and you can adjust to go forward. You can make changes if you keep correct records and you can improve your results. One of the saddest things is to look back over a year, you're working with your annual tax reporting, rendering back your tax report, and you approach your accountant and you realize that you've made a repetitive error. You've repetitively paid too much for a product, you've charged too little, and in your annual report, it's too late to make the impact to have affected and improved your profit. Also, record keeping and knowing where they are, how they are, and your associates knowing how that works as well helps you if there is some cataclysmic event. We've lived through Katrina, 9/11, global financial crisis, now coronavirus and COVID-19 concerns. It helps you more nimbly report and pull together your history when things have gone well. It is aggravating and vexing. It is a discipline that we find our small business owners don't prefer to do because we all prefer to do what it is we love to do. And a lot of the times that's not record keeping. That's why it's important to have a team member that's good at doing backup, good at doing record keeping, and have an accounting reporting circumstance that keeps this in great order in the eyes of the IRS and your state, city, and county reporting systems. They nudge you rather than you having to lose 2 to 4 days reconstructing what's going on. Accuracy is important. Many times, remembering when we had the slide about what are your goals with your business, we see someone trying to sell their business or arrange their business for a new partner, a new injection, a rebranding, restatement, moving, whatever. And in that sort of setup, when you are trying to perhaps get a loan or aggregate loans, bundle them in order to go forward, your bank wants to see how things have gone. And if you have been running your business by the seat of your pants and not towing the line on accurate record keeping, this will punish you and hurt your ability to borrow money, run you at a higher interest rate. And your lender is also going to consider you a high risk because you're a high tax audit risk. Things are not in order. You can't readily prove what's gone on. Once again, this may not sound like the most fun element of starting, running, getting your business up and going and making it viable and sustainable. But please know, the better that this goes, we can move into what we love to call as a society a set it and forget it circumstance and know where we report things, know where we keep things, know where we order things to have a successful, well-planned, well put together, viable, and sustainable ongoing business process. It's been my delight to present Starting a Business First Steps to you. I want to show you all of our offices so that you will know. University of Mississippi, Jackson State. We also have a City of Jackson office. Mississippi State University at Starkville and Meridian. University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg, Hines Community College. We have 2 offices, one at the Community College in Raymond and the Community College in Pearl. East Central Community College in Decatur, and that counselor also serves several other areas. All of these offices, University of Mississippi is our lead office in Oxford, Mississippi. There are several branches and expressions there, and we also have an office and a University of Mississippi associate in the Delta area. We are powered by the SBA. The United States Small Business Administration is our major funder, advisor, partner, and we are their boots on the ground or on the cyber ground, shoulder to shoulder with you and the SBA to hopefully create your dream business in a viable and sustainable way. Before we end our presentation, I'd like to invite questions. Please email them to our state office. We will adjust our presentations based on your questions, and we plan on formulating a frequently asked question page. You may access our organization, www.mssbdc.org, for your closest SBDC office, and it is a world and beautiful exposure of information about how to develop and create a business in the state of Mississippi. It also gives you all of our office representatives and many of our resource partners. I'd like to end our presentation by giving you some of our favorite reading, also audio suggestions to help you develop your business. And please know a lot of these are available free online. Start with the why, think like a freak, competing against luck, growing a business, this is marketing, outliers, one more page, the tipping point, how something moves from an idea to a craze to everybody has it, a manifesto for doing home-based businesses that are craft related or creation related, invention related, how things work better is how we make stuff now. It's a personal favorite because it's literally a blueprint of how you take something to marketplace, whether it's an idea, a business model, or a product. She has magnificent templates in that book. Who Moved My Cheese, whimsical, wonderful story that helps us move from time-honored notions to new ways of looking at business. Shoe Dog, a story about someone who used to sell on a selling floor who is now the giant of Nike. The Ride of a Lifetime, Robert Iger, who used to use putty knives to remove gum from Disney properties and became their CEO. The Moment of Lift, aeronautical term that Melinda Gates uses on how our world will view integrating everyone into entrepreneurship. Great, legendary books and audio suggestions to help you concept a broader idea for your business. This concludes our workshop. We will send you a survey link, and we will be delighted to hear from you about how you liked it, didn't like it, and how it served you. Completing that survey will give you your slide presentation. Thank you for watching and joining us in Starting a Business First Steps.